Thanks for joining us. This is Mahesh from USAM. So today's topic will be smart and do iLogic part 2. Those who have not seen the part 1 yet, you can go over there. I have shared the link in description as well as in the I symbol. You can click over that and see the first part of this session. So there we have covered the introduction part and the basics of iLogic. It will be a part level session. And I started with an assembly there, but I couldn't finish it properly due to some technical issues. So here today we'll be covering how to use if conditions in assembly level. So we have different types of conditions to be applied in iLogic, case statement, while loop statements, or if statements. So here we'll see how to use if statements for assemblies. Okay. So initially what we did is we created some dimensions. We tried to control those dimensions using forms. And then we have created if statements for part level. And for this assembly, we have created a form to control the constraints of the assembly. Once we go to the gripper form and move the slider, this will eventually drive a constraint, right? So we have finished till that in the part 1 session. Now we'll be adding some user parameters. So go to manage parameters, and we have some model parameters already. So these are the constraints which are given to the assembly. And you can see that D0, D17, D39, it also shows where this is consumed, right? So where this model parameter is used and what is the name of it. It's also showing that. We'll add a numeric, say add numeric. We'll say holes, and we'll change the units here. Holes is unitless, so we'll say UL. Okay. And initially I'll say 4, but this will be later controlled using slide bar, which is available in forms. And we'll add material. Here we shall go for a multi-value text. So go here, make multi-value, and we'll be adding 2 different materials. So one is aluminum 6061, the exact spelling which is available in the inventor library, and copper. Say add, okay. Then we'll go for a type. So this is a drop down which showing the materials. Now we'll go for a type, same text, and this type is for holder. So either your holder is short or long. So we'll go for a multi-value text here also. Say short and long. And we'll add this also to the parameters. And finally, we'll add another one for motor. Multi-value text. And short and large. Short we have already used, so we'll go back and say small. Yeah, small and large. So short and long we have already used. So for quicker identification, we'll make this as large. Okay. So make sure that you're making your user parameters as a key parameter. Now we have added some user parameters, and these user parameters are going to be mapped with some of the model parameters which is already available there in our model, so that we can use it in iLogic rules. So before going into iLogic rules, we have to understand the model and what we are going to do with it. So what I'll do is I'll quickly walk you through the model so that you can understand what it is, and then we'll quickly go back to the iLogic rules. So the front portion which you see in gray color is the motor. So we have we have created a user parameter called small and large. So we have 2 different types of motors, and once you click large, larger motor has to be assembled here. So that's one condition. So the next will be controlling the height of the holder. So for this only we have created a user parameter called type, short and long. So once you click short, the height will be 40 mm, and if we say long, the height will be 60 mm. This is the second condition. And for material, we have created a user parameter. So the plate which you see in the most corner part of the assembly, the adapter plate, it is, so we have created a material tab in user parameter to apply material for this plate. So it should be either aluminum or copper. And the holes what you see in the plate will be controlled using a slider. So whenever you slide through the slider, whatever inputs you give, holes has to be populating accordingly. So this is the condition what we are going to work on today. So go to rule section which is available in iLogic, right click, say add new rule. So we'll quickly change the name into assembly variant. Your edit assembly rule dialog box opens, and here is where we are going to put up our rules for iLogic. So we'll quickly go and check where is the adapter plate. Yeah, it's here, and go for its model parameters. And we have already given the holes there, right? So we'll be selecting the number of holes, and we have to capture its current state. And now it will automatically write its program. And instead of 7 units, we'll be saying this is equal to the holes which we have created in user parameters. So go back to user parameters and map your holes which we have created now with the holes of the model parameter. Once this is done, we'll go back and start our if conditions. So I'll select, so if then end if. Okay. So we also have other conditions here in keywords, case, while loop, everything. And in operations, you can see the Boolean operations. Okay. So coming back here, if my expression, then end if. So here we have to change my expression into our own condition. So we'll go back to user parameters and select type. So if type is equal to, so use the correct spellings, exactly what we have used in user parameters, equal to short, then what will be the condition? So we have a condition already, we'll capture that state also, go back to holder, its model parameter, we have length. So we shall capture the current state. So I have double clicked it, I'll quickly delete it, say capture current state. So it will capture along with its dimension. So if this is short, it's 40 mm, it's correct only, else I'll capture the current state again and say it's not 40 mm, it will be 60 mm. So we have finished our program actually. If type is equal to short, then holder is 40, else 60. Else means it's not short, it's large, it's long, right? So I'll quickly, so I'm just arranging the program so that it looks tidy. And finally, we shall add for material. Go back to I properties, we have something called material of component option. So select that option from I property drop down, double click it. So instead of part 1, we'll be saying it as adapter plate. So because we have to change material for adapter plate only, so I'll quickly select that name, is equal to material. So material can be taken from here as a syntax, which is available in iLogic by default. And this material will eventually map our material which we have created in user parameter. And end if should not be here because I property of material is something different from if condition. So our if condition ends there itself, where we have said else parameter is equal to 60 mm. So we have to put that end if there, not after I properties. So this if condition is different, our I property of material is different. It doesn't comes under if conditions. So to make it more understandable, we can add our text also here in rule dialog box where it doesn't affect your program, but still it tells you for which condition you have created this program. So for that, what we have to do is use single quote and start typing your conditions. So the first line will be only for holes. So we'll add some text to identify that this program is for holes. So this is for controlling holes. So we can add text here without disturbing the program for our understanding. So we'll quickly add for others also. This is for holder, showing the type of holder. Okay, and the last will be, this is for controlling the material. Okay, so after end if we have still a single line program to control our material, and we'll quickly name this. This is for controlling the, this is for changing the material. Save and run the program. So we have saved and run. We have to create a form for this. We'll quickly go and create a form. So you will edit a form. We have already created a form. Edit form. So we have options to group the conditions. We have an option called tab group to create a new two different tabs. So I'll quickly go and create two different tabs. Tab group 1 will have the conditions which we have created now, and tab group 2 will have the conditions which we have already given. So to control the dimensions. So we have just dragged and dropped here, but I think I have not put up correctly. It has to be inside the tab group 2, but tab group 1 and group 2 has the same options. So I'll check how to do it. If I, yeah, so the whole is going correctly, but hub and picture is available in both the tabs. I'll quickly change it to the tab 2. Now it looks fine. Okay. Okay. So I'll also populate with material type and motor in tab group 1. Just drag and drop inside tab group 1. That's all. So we'll quickly rename the tabs. So this will be variance, and the next tab group will be for controlling the gripper. So we'll say gripper here. Okay. So these are the tabs available in a particular form, but the form itself has a name called gripper. We'll change this also to say gripper assembly. Okay. So we'll change this to gripper assembly. And say okay. And we'll also add a picture here in gripper in variance tab. So we have a image option to add it here, and for holes we have to change it to slider. So we'll go to holes, coming to properties, we have a edit content type, change text box to slider. And what will be our maximum number of holes? So if we want more than 10, we can go over then change it to 25 or 30 according to our wish. So as of now I'll stick with 10. Say okay. So we'll open a form which we have created now. It looks good, right? So controlling the holes, we can move up the slider, and you can see it's populating the holes according to our conditions. So maximum up to 10, and we'll see how material works. Going to copper, it changes the material, and going back to aluminum, it's by default, right? So going to type, it's long and short. So short will be 40 mm in height, long will be 60 mm in height, right? So for motor, we didn't give any conditions as of now, so it won't work even if I say large or small. There won't be any changes because we have not yet put up a rule over there. So we'll quickly go and do that also. So this is the initial condition which we already given for controlling the constraints. I'll close this form. Now we shall create a rule for controlling the motor. So going to rules, right click, say create new rule, say motor. So our edit rule motor dialog box will apply. So here is the area where we have to put rules for our motor. So go to iLogic assembly components and drop down it. We have something called this assembly. So this assembly syntax is to control the assembly file which we have kept open now. So we have to add another option to control it. So say dot, put up a dot over there and say begin manage. So what it will do is it will manage the current assembly's condition. And if we say we have to bring another part into the assembly, it will automatically delete or removes the unwanted object from the assembly. So for doing so, we'll use this begin manage, and if you're using begin manage, make sure that you use end manage also. So let's create a space between these two because this is the end of the manage condition. So within this, we'll add up a if statement. For instead of my expression, we'll add motor here. So if motor is short or large, what will be the condition? Now we have a smaller condition which is already there. So we'll initially go with if motor is equal to large, then we'll add up a else here. Else our motor will be small. So we have a motor, smaller motor now in our assembly. We'll quickly go and capture that state here. Yeah. So we'll right click this and we have three different options. Say select the last option which captures the current state along with its constraints. Okay, because this is assembled together, we have to capture along with its constraints. So we have captured the current state. So after that there is endif, and after endif we have end manage, right? So we'll go back and create our large motor. Because we don't have any model for that, we have to create one. I'll save, I'm not going to save and run. We'll go to the assembly browser. So go down and select the small motor. So go to assemble. In productivity ribbon, please drop down that we can see an option save and replace. It will create as well as replace your current part with the new part. We'll name it as large, say yes. So we have created a large part there. Now we'll make sure that this is large. So going to motor small, so we shall change the name here also. Now we have to change the dimension also. We have just created a component name large, that's all. So I'll quickly double click the part and go back to the initial roots of sketches which is available there. Make it as visible one. Say visibility on. Yeah. So we'll change this to, we'll add plus 20. Plus 20 will help, I think. Say okay. For identification purpose, what we shall do is we shall add a color also. So I'll select the motor and going back to appearance, we'll add a visible color. So gold doesn't make sense. Light red. Okay. So red will help. Finish edit. But I still see the sketches. Okay, what shall we do is we should quickly go over and say visibility off. Sketch. visibility off. Okay, finished it. So now we have replaced the model with a larger motor. So now going back to the rule again, edit rule. Now we have to capture the condition of the larger motor. So we'll quickly go to the design tree and select your large, say capture current state along with the constraints. So we have added both the larger condition as well as the smaller condition, right? And so before that, we'll make sure that the program is correct. We'll make it tidy. So whatever programs you do also, once after completing it, make it tidy so that if you are seeing it after 6 months or 2 months, you'll be able to identify for which purpose you have created one. So we'll bring this else here and make sure that there is no extra spaces or something. And this assembly nmanage also will bring it very closer. And once you are okay with this, save and run the program. So we'll quickly go back to the forms which we have created already. So motor is already selected to a large. We'll quickly drop down it and select small. Yeah, it's changing, right? And it will also change in the design tree. So we'll go over there and check for it, its changes there. So design tree now shows small motor, right? So when you go back here into the form and say large, you can see there the large motor is also populating in the design tree. So this is the actual work of the manage command which we use there in iLogic. It will replace and remove the component from the design tree also. So now we have created a program for controlling our materials, type, as well as replacing a component in an assembly. And in the part 1, we also saw how to control your constraints, right? Hope I have created some insights about iLogic. Only for if conditions, we have not yet seen many options which is available there. As far as if condition is concerned, we have seen how to use it in part level as well as in assembly level with different type of criteria. It may be controlling your dimensions, controlling your constraints, or it may be how to change your colors, your material, your components, as well as the length of the holder. So you have put up some different kind of programs using if conditions in different applications. So you can also go over and explore different kind of options available in iLogic. I'll also give you a hack how you can learn iLogic on your own. Most of you might have attended the program which we conducted last week or previous weeks regarding factory design. So the factory design, those who have not yet seen, I also shared the link in the description for seeing the factory design session. So in that we'll be using some assets which are already created in factory design. We'll be using those assets in our factory layouts. And the beauty is those assets are managed using iLogic only. It has forms, it has some rules over there. We can study iLogics using those components also. So I'll also show that. So before that, I'll close this and I'll quickly change the project into factory. So we'll open a empty layout, and from factory assets, I'll bring a conveyor. So I'll quickly drop it over here. So I'm not going to talk more about factory. We are just into iLogic still. So right click, say done. For that, I'll also place a machine over here. We shall go with CNC machines here. I'll place this also in this interface. Say done and escape. So going to factory properties, you can see the controllable options over here. So we have feed gap, height, legs length, motor location, all these can be controlled for a given particular model. And this is possible only using iLogic. So by default, Inventor's factory assets are created using iLogic only. So we have different types of locations to be changed. So as of now, it's front right, and if we change to center right or center left, you can see it will automatically change there. So we'll also see for the next model, the CNC machine which we have brought inside. So this has some editable dimensions also. So we'll study how these dimensions are edited using iLogic for this component. So say right click and open the model. So in iLogic browser, you can quickly go over and see the rules there. So we have a pre-built rule there. Say edit, and you can see the rules which they have created for us on behalf for controlling the components in factory. They have created some rules. So with these user parameters and model parameters in hand, and also with these programs in hand, we can go over and explore the program. So for which condition they have used these programs and how it works. It actually helps us to learn iLogic through these components. So we can see the user parameters and the program. They have also used if condition for this particular model. So we'll also see the next iLogic rule in the conveyor also. So coming back here, I'll quickly open the conveyor model. So going back to iLogic rules, we have two different set of rules for motor location and for the parameters separately. So if you want to say how they are controlling motors, you can go over and say edit and check for the conditions what they have used. They have also used nodes, you can see there. And we have something called case condition here. So as I already said, there are some more conditions other than if, like case and while. So they have used case for this type of condition. And you can see for every case, only one set is true and all other things are false. And they've also entered the case there, and they have told the iLogic that feature is active, command separately. So these are the various ways where we can go and explore programs without any tutorials actually. So they have some user parameters. They have created a user parameters like E1, E2 and E3 till E6, and they have mapped it here in program using a case statement. And also we'll see the next rule. So right click and say edit. So this is the same condition where if statement is used, and they have said for which condition they have used this if statement. They have also added a note there. So as a user who needs to learn more about iLogic, please go through this install factory in your inventor and start exploring your factory assets iLogic programs and how they have used and where they have used. So finally, we have successfully completed the part 2 session of Be Smart and Do iLogic. So thank you. Thanks for being here. We'll meet up in next session.